Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, not too much.
It's the last episode. Yay.
It is. It is. It's always. They always do this on these shows too. It's always difficult to take notes when there's a lot of back and forth between scenes. But
Yeah, I was just looking over the notes. Everything looks pretty good.
cool.
I know some of this is going to tie into some future stuff.
As as is only to be expected from the MCU.
Right? If it wasn't, how dare they?
Could you even call it MCU if it didn't?
That's true. Dude.
Actually, now that we're talking about it, what can you think of an example where there isn't something that ties in? Like, is there a property? Well, that I didn't see that werewolf. What was it called? Midnight
That
thing.
one, yeah, that was last. That was actually pretty neat. I mean, that was
Mm-hmm.
really cool. It's a good Halloween, thing to watch now.
Did that have any
That's not.
references though? Without
Uh,
spoiling anything. Since I have not, I do want to see.
don't think it did.
Okay.
It's been a while, so I have to rewatch it
Is it
again. But
considered MCU or is it just like
yeah,
Marvel
it's
Studios? Okay.
considered in the MCU. So maybe down the road when they get Blade and stuff, maybe
Something
Blade
will
will be
tie into
hunting them.
that. Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
The whole thing sucks now too with Marshali like left. Is that true?
Wait, what?
Supposedly
Oh
he's not.
no.
He's like done because of
Oh,
all the delays and everything. That's what I heard anyway. I don't
I
know.
gotta look that up now. I was just speaking. I was gonna say it's really hard to find watch bands for this watch I got here now.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it's still pretty new. Makes sense though.
I want a watch band, but I can't find one.
You've looked on for the off knockoff ones and everything.
Not yet. A little bit, I should say. 49 millimeter Apple Watch band.
49mm. What is mine? Even
44, isn't it?
I keep changing them. What does it say on here? 45.
45. Okay.
And yours is what? 49?
49.
Good
Yeah.
lord.
Good lord. Make it sound like it's just behemoth. It is.
Well, it's only like two. Isn't it only like a 2mm difference, or is it 4mm between the smallest one and this one? I think it's 42, 43, 44. Yeah, 38. I don't remember anymore.
Ooh, they're actually. Amazon has some good choices.
Curious, what was that? 44. 41 and 45. Oh, yeah, it's four difference between. It went up 1mm from the previous iteration or previous size, and then I think it was like 2 before that. Yeah, that's right. It started at 38 and 42, and then went up to 44 and or 40 and 44. And now it's 41 and 45, and then made a huge jump.
Damn.
Actually, yeah, that's kind of crazy. It was, yeah, 42. That means it's only gone up. That means that's a bigger jump size wise from the current next biggest, right? 45 is the next biggest. That's a full 4mm. That means, but it's only gone up 3mm in the entirety of the other watches. Like, you know what I mean? Like, started at
Yeah.
38, went to 41. Like, that's That's crazy. They went up a full 4 millimeters from the current biggest size. That is pretty substantial. Anywho, suppose we can get going.
Yes, sir. Reba.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to Disnerds Plus, where we talk about your favorite shows, nerdy shows, that is, on Disney Plus. This is episode 41, talking some Secret Invasion, the finale, season finale, number 6, Home, for Thursday, July 27th, 2023. I'm Shane.
And I'm Mike. Hey, Shane.
Hello. Hello, Mike. What's going on?
Not much. Just hanging there. You know, going on this little no drinking thing for like a week, 2 weeks now. So
Good for you. Good for you.
just detoxing a little bit.
Yeah, that is
It's been a summer of crazy fun, but yeah.
Yep, fair enough. Gotta do it. Yeah, it's a good thing to do once in a while. Yeah, well, I can't say I've been doing the same so much lately, but yeah, no, I try to during the weekdays usually, but yeah, at least that much. But anywho, I suppose we can start getting into our topics here.
Topic of the night. Yes.
Previously on Secret Invasion. That their 5th episode, which I believe was Harvest. The president was taken to the hospital. We had Gravik, however you say it.
Gravik.
Kind of getting in a little kerfuffle with his own followers there. And when I say kerfuffle, I mean killing them. We saw that footage of Scurry, if we can call him that. I guess it was Gravik's Fury form, specifically killing Maria Hill. That got sent out in the public. We had
Fury public enemy number uno.
Yeah, indeed. We saw that Sonya visiting the Daltons in their lab, and
I just say Sonya. If it wasn't for Sonya, I don't think the show would do it. I mean, it does.
she
Based
is.
on ratings, it's not doing well, but
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me too much, but yeah, I agree. She is one of the better parts of the show for sure. Yeah, hands down. Definitely. Yeah, and she's like, it's almost she's like the Captain Marvel of what would you call her? Like of crime fighters or something. You know, like just she's not a superhero, but she basically is. Like
yeah, she's Fury level in a way, but for the UK.
yeah.
Shield was like worldwide, so I mean, she's only covering the UK, so maybe she's gonna get bigger.
If she
But I
were
hope they
in,
bring her back. I hope they bring Sonya back because
oh yeah,
my
no
God,
doubt.
bring her back in a movie.
If they had a character like that in Agents of Shield, I feel like that show probably would have done a lot better too.
Yeah,
Like,
I think so. But Agent of Shield is not part of the MCU, as one Kevin Feige has declared.
denounced though, right? Because like at one point, wasn't it considered it?
No, it was the TV head of, the Marvel TV leadership knew what was going on and kind of just, oh, we could sprinkle a little bit in here, tie it in without
Gotcha.
asking Kevin Feige.
That's weird. Yeah. We also got to see Talos being laid to rest and having Vara and Gaia perform that. And then, yeah, what's the last thing? The Gravik, what was revealed about Graphic in that one? It was the
He wants the harvest.
yes.
He doesn't care about the other
Oh, the one
scrolls
thing
to
he's
make
after.
his.
Yeah. Yep.
And he killed Beto. Beto.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. He did. Okay. Well, so now here we are, episode 6. We start this. So I guess I was confused. What's the body we see here in the that Vara is walking past at the beginning of this episode, or who is it?
That's one of those.
Oh, the agents
That's
that
yeah.
crashed in. That's
That
right.
came in the last time and just basically Vara and Gaia just destroyed them.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That makes sense. So this was still the Fury household, though. And I didn't even think about that at the time. That they totally their house is kind of effed right now. But
Yeah, it needs a little bit of remodeling, some paint,
yeah,
cover some of that scroll
the
blood.
spackle. Yeah,
Yeah,
place some windows,
some glass.
maybe some furniture. Yeah, kind of a mess. But yeah, we saw that Fury gives her a call, and from apparently he had never actually gotten through to that number. He said he dialed the number quite a few times, quote unquote, dialed that number quite a few times.
Never punched the call button.
Right. It's one of those, I just realizing the term dial is it's one of those terms that like film that just remains
Yeah,
despite.
I sometimes say videotape, and it's like,
Yeah.
there's no videotape in the phone. It's
It's
just
like there's no dial
recording.
on the phone either, but
Yeah. Damn it! It's all those old things that our parents got instilled into our brains. Get it
oh
out.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's another thing. Like the defining characteristic of a mouse on a computer was having a tail, having the cord basically. But what mouse has that anymore either? Well, I guess a gaming mouse too. So I guess that's appropriate. But so then, New Skrullos, those gates. So which I didn't even put together. So the guards at the gates there, speaking Russian, speaking, you know, uh, presumably they're both the guards from Russia, but also Skrulls. One one
They
might
were
assume.
definitely scrolls.
A car is slowly approaching those gates, and first they start shooting in the air, then they start shooting at the vehicle, and get up to the vehicle and see there's no one in the vehicle, of course, and then pow pow, they get taken out.
Pow pow. I love that.
And
Pow
then
pow.
yeah, and of course we see. I don't want to say too much here, but we see Nick Fury approach, but and naturally, which is pretty much I expected at this point. That's pretty much where what I think we're led to believe at this point. But then the at the hospital, that same
Back
hospital
to the
that
hospital.
Mike had took issue with the lack of guards and everything in the previous episode.
Yeah. Well, and staff, just normal staff. It's like there should be hospital staff than just two doctors. And
Yeah,
like, come on.
right. And we see Scrody and an
Rudy.
admiral arguing over the attack and what to do next. And of course, Scrody is still trying to convince the
Rudy's
president.
basically being a dick right now. You take stupid pills today?
Yes, right. Um, trying to keep the president on board with bombing the New Skrullos, and so then they see on TV they're talking about, or I don't know if it's TV, it's footage or something showing Russian tanks on the Finland and Ukrainian borders, which I thought was
I know. I was like, wow, that's
they kept
really
that in.
boring.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, obviously, definitely alternate timeline here for sure at this point.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. I mean they named the Russian president Vladimir or something. Vladimir,
oh,
President
really?
Vladimir. Like, okay,
Hmm.
that's
Alternate, but
not it's not that close to Vladimir, I guess. But it was but it was his last name. Vladimir for the current one is his first name. So
yeah, that
I don't
does
know.
seem a little on the nose though. Uh, as
Yeah,
opposed to President Ritson, which I
Britain
think is like nothing. Like that's not.
sounds like a dumb name.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm thinking of like Ritson or something, but
Britain.
do we need to
Sorry.
reboot you, Mike? What's going
Yeah.
on? And then so there's a lot of back and forth in this episode, especially at the end. But back at New Scrollos, see Fury notices all the dead scrolls in the area along the way, and we can see that he's starting to cough. That I knew I was going to get this wrong. It's not a gamma meter. It's a what is that? Geiger
Counter
counter. Yeah, now I remember.
makes a clicky click noise.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it didn't sound like the typical clicking I've seen in other things, but
I think they can click differently.
yeah. Well, you think they'd have something a little even more advanced than that in this well,
I mean, it's a Geiger counter. They only cost like $20 at most.
really?
They're not. Yeah, like the basic one,
You
probably like
tell
20
me I
bucks.
can get myself a genuine
Hey,
Geiger counter?
and you can see the background radiation in your when you run all everything in your
Maybe
room there,
I'm better off in my room. Um,
or in your recording studio, whatever you
well,
want to call it.
I mean, I hope there's
Because
not too
there's
much.
there's a lot of electronics in your in our
A lot of
in our places.
electronics, but I mean, we're getting it from what
Electronics give off
light mostly.
somewhat radiation, like not harmful, but it's like background.
I would have thought the light would be more of a things that are lit specifically, but I don't know. I don't know. But he's also taking those iodide pills
Iodine,
that Gravik had specifically. What'd you say, Mike?
iodine,
Iodide. Iodide.
iodide.
Yeah, it's not iodine. That's what you put on stuff before you
Oh, whatever.
get
I
a
thought
what you
you said
call.
iodine or some pills.
Yeah, no, I think it's IOD IOD IODE IODIDE. Sorry. Yeah, that's what it is. But anywho, those their pills are being Fury's taking those furiously. Huh. And we see that Sonia gives a call there to Scrody. I guess that was back in the hospital, of course. With a basically trying. You can tell she's like pretty quickly that she's trying to distract Scrody by saying that Fury is on the way, and of course he's apprehensive of even needing a lot of extra guards for that kind of thing. They could, he figured they could handle it. But then we see Fury actually enters the room with the giant machine. They're on at
Super scroll machine.
Yes. Still taking a whole bunch of those pills. Whole bunch of them.
Tries to, and then dumps them down the drain. I would say
Accidentally, presumably, and then
Gravik makes kind of kicks the rest down.
stomps on them. And Gravik asks if he'd like a drink, to which he is not opposed. So he's just drinking from this flask, and it's funny because he's not in this scene. He doesn't seem apprehensive like Scrody was in the with the Pappy whiskey.
I think Scrody is more on a like being careful mission. Gravik's just kind of at the end. He wants to finish it.
Oh no, I'm not comparing. I'm saying Fury's not. Well, and again, reason for reasons, probably is not caring so much about that. But then we do see Ritson's getting evacuated after all, and suddenly a bunch of agents are getting shot as well. And again, lots of back and forth here going on. Like, quick.
But they're not really. I mean, they're not getting killed. They're getting shot with. Like,
Right,
darts.
right. And I mean, it wasn't maybe. Yeah, I don't remember if I noticed the darts immediately in this scene. I don't know if you're meant to right off the bat or not.
I could. I kind of felt like I knew because of how it sounded.
Mhm.
Like it didn't sound like a gun. It sounded like something that was shooting
I mean, it could just be a
less faster
silencer, though.
projectiles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's usually the type of thing in these scenes
but I
would
think in
be.
the first scene when they knocked the first three, I swear I saw the dart kind of hanging out the neck.
Sure, sure. It all happens so fast. There's like there's a lot going on here
So
quickly.
so fast,
Um,
so very fast.
and so Ben Gravik is talking to Fury, talking about if when the shaking gets above the elbow, closer to the heart, that's when you got to worry, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Referring to, I guess, radiation poisoning, sickness, whatever it is. Um, and so then Gravik goes on to say, asks Fury, you don't recognize his face, and that it was actually the first human that he killed, and that was because of Fury. So I guess that was a direct order. I guess I don't go into it too much.
Mm, yeah, I can't recall them.
Presumably, someone, and they even said like he had a family, and went on to say, oh, he had a family and everything, but that he just kind of like got off the beaten path. Basically, he had a. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah. He
so
was a bad
he did do
maybe
some
he was
bad
Hydra.
things. Yeah. What's that?
Maybe he was part of Hydra.
Yeah, it's possible.
And Fury knew. He's like, oh, just kill this guy. Take his face.
Right. Yeah. So then he did have a quote there about you pimped us, Fury, which I thought was
I
a
remember that. But
interesting
yeah, he
comment.
kind
Yeah.
of. If you think about it, he kind of did.
Right. Um, and then he went on to say the first thing he's gonna do is kill him, Fury. Then basically take a flamethrower to all of humanity. Um,
He
Fury
really
goes
hates
on.
humans.
What was that?
He really hates humans.
Yeah, sure does. I can't imagine. Not a single human did he come across that he liked, huh? Guess not. Fury goes on to admit that he did fail them, and in regards to promising them a home, and that he knew within a few years that there wasn't another planet out there that was going to be able to sustain them, and that it was going to be easier to save 8 billion people than change their hearts and minds. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
just sad. But um, and then also the last thing that he felt before he flaked off during the blip was relief. Just that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like, he didn't seem like he was relieved. He's just like, mother.
Yeah. Yeah. True. For again reasons, this may or may not be accurate. But then it was actually Gravik that was allegedly the reason that he came back to Earth also. Which I guess makes sense. The beginning of this
Yeah,
series.
yeah. It's his responsibility. He put him kind of in that that position.
Mm-hmm.
So makes sense.
And again, a lot of back and forth here back at the hospital. Scrody is just a
Good
little
old
so
Scrody.
nonchalant with Scrody now, but he's he asked for one of the agents' guns as they're waiting after all this shooting that happened, and
Flickering.
yeah, the lights are kind of flickering as well. So then
Oh, we're
Um,
back to Skrullos.
yeah, no way. We yeah, that's about right about around there is where Fury admits he decided to give him what he wants, which is the harvest, and you know,
Yeah.
because he did fail him, because he failed. Uh,
You know, I think about this. He gave him Harvest, and he obviously used it on himself. And then he literally made Gravik into like a god with all
right,
those powers that he could shift into. It's like, whoa, mind-boggling. Why would you do that? I would just like stomp it, break it, and call it a day. No one can use it.
right. So yeah, that you know, part of the reason he was giving it to him was that he thought he failed him. He failed the scrolls in general, and I guess the big one, which you know, the big one they mentioned was Carol Danvers' DNA being a part of the harvest, along with the other Avengers. But I think
Carol
Danvers was,
Danvers is considered like one of the powerful ones, like top
yeah,
tier.
yeah, that was I think the main one he was after, right? If she's,
Mm-hmm.
especially if she's the most considered the most powerful
If you
Avenger.
have her powers, you're pretty good.
Yep. And yeah, so then Fury says, or he asks what he wants in exchange, and Fury says, to go take the scrolls to some other planet and take over another species.
Get off my planet.
Right. And Graphic thinks that the radiation is eating away at his brains, uh, for that kind of a deal. Um, so then let's see, where do we go here now?
Back to the hospital. Yeah.
Again, we're back to the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they continue moving Ritson out of there, and Ritson asks for a gun as well, which he gets from one of the agents. Um,
You know, Ritson seems kind of like a kind of assholish at this point.
yeah, I
He's
mean,
all stressed and
I don't necessarily. I personally didn't see it until later in this episode, but we'll get there as well. Um, yeah, so the we see Gravik is analyzing the DNA from the harvest, and we see, okay, so I'm sure you noticed all the things that popped up here, right? Different
uh,
Avengers.
I saw Winter Soldier, I saw Ghost, I saw Carol Danvers, I saw I think I saw Mantis, but I mean I even looked at like tried to find a list of what everyone, but I couldn't find them all. So
Oh yeah,
that's
there's a lot.
there's a lot.
Oh yeah, so
One of
I
those
guess I forgot. Goes
YouTubers that like take the time to like look at them would be able to do that. Probably list them out for you.
was it Ghost was in what? Which Ant Man?
Two, Ant-Man
Yeah,
2.
gotcha. Yeah, because I guess
And
I kind of
Ghost will be
forgot about.
back in the Thunderbolts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the whole list that comes up on the computer when he graphic analyzes it, and
Basically every Avenger that like fought at the Battle of Earth, right? Is what he said.
yep, exactly.
Of course, I wouldn't maybe what I don't know what kind of blood you're gonna get, like powers you're gonna get from Tony Stark or Rhodey because they're just human beings, or Star Lord. Well, he's half celestial. Maybe that would do
Oh,
something.
yeah. They didn't mention that part. And actually, I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember now. Isn't it?
But
It's
why do they have two? They have Captain America and Winter Soldier. They're basically the same. They're super soldiers.
oh yeah,
Like,
true. Did
so that's I was like, what?
you're reminding me the whole like half celestial thing? Like he did he lose those? Like he did turn
He
into
lost it when his
Pac-Man, right?
Oh yeah, he did. That's for
How
that
did he
happened
lose it again?
because he killed his father, and
Oh,
his
because
father was like
ego
the
needed.
source of it.
Yeah, gotcha. And he could have used it up until that point, and he just didn't know it. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's
Well, no, he
crazy.
had to be. I think he had to be closer to the planet
Oh,
that started to make it start going.
gotcha. Yeah, so and then Graphic even asked him, "You really want to die, huh?" Like he, it does seem to be the case. Like Fury's not seeming like he cares to live
I
at this
think he's
point.
just like, just do it. Just
Right.
get me done with.
So, meanwhile,
Back
back
in
at
the
the
hospital.
hospital, uh, she Scrody is kind of like walking out of a door, saying that the room is clear. But then, of course, Sonya comes out from behind the door and says, "So how she knows he's a scroll because he doesn't check behind doors, I guess."
I loved that when she said that. I was like, that's funny.
And then she, of course, has a gun on him. And we see Gravik
As
firing up
Sonya
the
would.
machine. Was that?
I said, as Sonya would.
Oh yes. We see Gravik, firing up the machine, and this is the part I was kind of confused about because he intentionally leaves. Well, at least that's what it looked like in the scene. Did I not see it correctly? It made it look like Fury was in the machine with him.
Was.
So what was he trying to do?
Well, he wasn't trying to do anything. He thought he figured, being that machine was made for scrolls to integrate with DNA, not humans. So it probably didn't do anything to him. I don't think. He probably just like, well, you're gonna just stand here and get beamed with a bunch of light.
They were both groaning in the scene, unless it's something like you need to be like directly in the center of the thing or something like that.
It looked like Gravik was having more of a problem than anything.
So then, Sonya brings Scrody with gun to over there to Ritson, and Ritson points a gun at I think back at Sonya, of
Kind
course.
of at Sonya, but I mean, Scrody's in the way, so Scrody gets shot first.
So after this now harvest transformation on the machine, Gravik looks pretty ripped in his. Well, I guess it's mostly scroll form, but it's I don't know. It
Got
reminded me a lot
taller.
of Abomination already at this point.
Yeah, yeah. He got
Um,
he got strong really pretty quick.
mm-hmm. So then, Gravik's about to come over and give a big old punch there to Fury, which is to Gravik's surprise blocked by his own fist. I know what. Yeah, actually, it was a specific arm here, wasn't it?
It was it was Drax's arm, I believe.
Was it already
Or no,
Drax's arm?
no, no, that was after. No, it was maybe it was Korg's. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah,
There were
there's a
so
lot of
many
different
things
arm
changing.
changes coming up here. So that then uses the force and throws uh throws Gravik into the air, out the ceiling into a smokestack outside, and then quickly revealing to be Gaia, which I just want to say I totally called this was going to be the final showdown between these two.
Good call.
um,
Good call.
oh yeah, yeah. So it's the new version. I guess she was the new version of
He's a
Scurry, or if you want to
super
combine,
scroll.
could combine the different names, it'd be Faya or Guri or
Gurry, Gurry, Fia, Gurry. Sounds like Gary, but Gurry,
Gary.
Gurry.
Oh yeah. So then, it's very clear in the next scene that uh, these agents are getting tranquilized, uh, and opens the door to see the real Nick Fury.
He
And
stand up.
huh?
Sorry, I had to.
What'd you
I
say?
said I had to.
What'd you
I
say?
said The real Nick Fury, please stand up.
Oh, yeah. And Ritson, of course, aims his gun over at Fury. Very confused, but Fury suggests that he aim to the left at Scrody over there. And yeah, so then Gaia talks about how Gravik killed his mother and her mother and father now. Although I don't know if I forgot about that he was the one that killed her mother. Remind me.
She was told by Tails.
Oh,
that Gravik killed.
They didn't go into any more specifics than that.
Nope, that was it.
And at this point he's looking even more like, he transforms into basically a smaller version of Abomination at this point.
Little dinky Abomination.
Yeah. And then she this is where she gets the Drax arm. Definitely not certainly recognizable arm. And then Gravik throws a whole vehicle at her, and then she uses, what is this, the ghost power?
This is the ghost power. At first, I thought it was like the Invisible Woman power. I'm like, wait a minute,
I did
what?
too.
Like,
but the difference would be, I suppose the Invisible Woman would still get hit, right? Because Ghost actually is more like Nightcrawler kind of. Right?
The only reason Ghost's DNA isn't. It's funny, it's not really the Avengers, I guess. It's all of them. Yeah. It's anyone else that was like super powered, because they have Thanos in there, they have Ebony Maw, they have Obsidian.
Right, exactly. I was gonna say that too. Yeah, which we find out. Yeah,
the Harvest was way more than just superheroes, or
right,
the good.
Which makes sense. I was gonna say before that, that you would get all the DNA in there, but so he gets his I thought it was a Groot arm. We don't really see him use the Groot power the same way he has in the previous episodes here, but I think this is mostly for show, having a Groot arm. But she goes an ice blade on one arm. Wait, what would that be?
That was the Frost Beast, or whatever it was, that got
right.
Thor.
The second one.
World. Yeah.
So one arm's the ice blade, and the other one, I believe, is the Korg arm.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I think that's Korg arm.
Well, that makes me question, now that I say it out loud, so what kind of DNA does Korg have?
Something rock based?
Yeah, it's just like rock dust.
little rocks going into little pebbles, rock vein. I don't
know. Yeah, so they get do a little fight in there, and then she pretty quickly pierces him, I think, right through the chest with that ice blade.
Sword. Back on to the hospital.
Meanwhile, Fury tries to convince Ritson Scrody is actually a Skrull, and then goes on to explain that there's all these people out there that are in these pods.
Yeah, and about the.
Yeah, and I think
bomb them.
Yeah, I think Scrody is trying to make. Oh yeah, that's a likely story, right? But
yeah, he's trying to play it off like are we in reality anymore? It's like, we're reality.
Kind of. So then we get to see the Ebony Maw power effect with the classic, like it's so even did the same gesture.
I know, but that was so weird because they even brought the rings on. I'm like, you have the rings?
Oh, we had the rings on
the hand and this. I'm like, huh. Okay. I'll go. Sure.
I didn't even notice that part. That's funny.
Same thing. I'll say it when we get to it, but there's
another one like that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
So he does the flick of the wrist, tosses her aside, and also goes on to kick her through a brick wall.
Or no, through the wall.
Wood wall.
Yeah, kicks her through the wall, but it's the Hulk's leg. But somehow when he
Had
transforms his leg, he's got the shorts
the
on. I'm like,
shorts.
what?
Just in
Why
case
would?
people don't understand what this is. I mean, I didn't even know. It was again. It was so quick. I didn't even. I tried to look. I. So many of these parts are
Well,
rewound.
you know me. I watch it at least twice just 'cause I have to go through it again just to see what I missed. I saw that. I'm like, why would they even replicate the pants? Why wouldn't they just do the leg? Who cares about the pants? Same thing with the rings. Like, who gives a who craps about the rings?
Yeah, that's a
Like,
little. I did
what?
not notice that. I mean, I did, despite not watching it twice. The amount of rewinding I've done the last couple episodes. I feel like I should have noticed that. It's just so like I really, in some cases, I'm rewinding like 3 or 4 times. So, um, yeah, I still didn't. It was still so fast that I didn't even catch that it was the Hulk leg. But that is hilarious.
I know. I was just like, oh man, I don't know if you could. You didn't have to go that detailed. That kind of
um,
wrecked it for me.
they really want to make sure people got the references, I guess. But
I suppose.
um, yeah, I guess maybe it was not actually a brick wall, but like a wooden.
Concrete wall.
I think it was wood, but so not like it matters. I mean, I think they're both pretty
Yeah,
powerful.
pretty. She can take it.
Yep. So then we got Scrody trying to convince Ritson to stay the course, of course, and then we get a little glimpse of silo opening there on a military base. Did I miss? I think I missed a part in here. Yeah, that's right. Somewhere between moving the president and
Oh,
Gravik
you
analyzing the
definitely see it.
DNA, we did see some military vehicles and some classified documents. Very brief
Yeah.
scene, but
And you would kind of. Oh, okay.
I guess this is related to that. This is like the third scene where it's got the military, the silo opening up, presumably around the same area as we saw those
Probably.
vehicles. And
Yeah.
then, and then, at the
Back to the
hospital,
hospital.
Scrody and Fury are kind of going back and forth, trying to convince the president one way or another. And then we get
Looks like an
a
idiot trying to like, which way I go? Which way do I go?
what? Oh. So then, almost said Carol. Gaia gets a new arm here. Uh, although couldn't identify this one specifically. I don't know if you caught it at this
I
point.
don't remember this one.
It wasn't super, noticeable.
Abomination, maybe?
Possibly.
Not Abomination, no. Called Obsidian, I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, maybe. That's the big dude, or one of the big dudes.
Dude.
So and then
They pulled Danver up.
yeah, they both kind of go Denver on Denver, with the I don't know what to call it, light trail, light
They're
speed.
davering each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're going binary, I think is what they call it.
Oh, is that
That,
right?
well, she did with her eyes lighting up. That's like the big power up move that Captain Marvel does.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, they kind of bump into each other and go flying into the air and twist around. This kind of reminds me of like WandaVision or something with the two visions fighting.
Yeah, I can see that.
So they go up pretty darn high in the air, and I think they're then upside down. I don't know if they're falling or going.
Yeah, they're upside down, kind of just doing stuff in the air.
soaring down, and that's when we see the Gaia form the mantis antennae, and he does the whole sleep, touches him on the forehead, and
he just went to sleep.
falls straight into the ground. So smart move, not a bad one. I got a feeling Gravik maybe didn't study up as much about all the powers.
I guess Gaia was doing her homework.
Yeah. So then, Sonya is getting in on this trying to convince Ritson, and asks him what he's got to lose. Then Fury says she's right, and that if he's wrong, he can send Fury to prison and flatten Russia. So, then okay,
Back at Scrolls.
yeah, Gravik has some kind of energy beams at this point that I guess I'm not recognizing what those are
Yeah,
from.
I'm thinking that's probably still the the Danver effect.
Sure, sure. um, yeah, starts shooting those, and she's kind of dodging them, and uh, then she gets the. I guess she must have been up. Yeah, she was obviously still in the up in the air at this point, and then she actually does like one of those
Superhero.
superhero landings. Yep.
All I thought of when I first saw that, I was like, is Deadpool superhero landing, superhero landing.
Then she gets another new arm. Um, yeah, which is another one I would have if I knew what it was I would have put it here. But does
Someone's gonna do a YouTube video and literally gonna name
oh yeah,
every type of hero that was or villain that was used in that.
for sure.
We'll hear.
So she runs at him and starts punching, and then holds him up by his neck all of a sudden. And I was like, wow, okay, she's not.
She
She's
overpowered him.
pretty serious here. Holds him up high, and then yeah, she uses one of those, I guess, Danver beams, straight through his stomach,
Memes.
and he makes a comment about uh, that he's just like, or that she's just like her father and the rest of them, and then
And he dies.
yeah, which was like, oh, okay, that's it. I guess that's all it took. He just got sliced through the chest before this, though. Like what? Like he 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 can take
well,
a
I think maybe maybe they went up the stomach and through the heart.
yeah.
If you probably destroy the heart, maybe that's what can stop you.
Yeah, I assume so. But then it's like, but he also got shot in the face, but I guess maybe not the brain. Yeah. So,
Logic I don't get sometimes in the MCU because
I mean,
some of it doesn't make
make logic of it's like making logic of Star Wars too. Both of the things we talk about on the show, but so Scrody actually manages then to get the gun away, or I don't whose gun was it? The president's gun he got away. I assume Sonya wouldn't be that.
No, it's Sonya's.
Sonya, why? How can you do it? What are you? You're slipping up. You're supposed to be perfect, Sonya.
Distracted.
Yeah. So as soon as Scrody gets the gun, Fury just straight up shoots Scrody in the forehead.
No, Fury's the one that grabs Ritson's gun and then shoots Fury or Scrody in the forehead.
Oh, I didn't realize he was that close at this point.
He was like easily creeping up.
So
but
obviously,
Scrody wasn't as fast as Fury.
Nope. And obviously, Scrody falls to the ground, to the floor, and is quickly revealed to be the Skrull. I guess Lady Skrull.
Yeah, it's a Lady Skrull. I can't remember. Rava. Rava. That's her name.
Really? We have a name? We didn't even get the. We saw a brief shower scene, and we saw this, and that's like.
That's it. Yeah.
We didn't even get a voice. We didn't even get the voice behind this scroll. Maybe I wonder if there's some deleted stuff out there.
Maybe.
Well, not yet, but
they did make changes on things, so who knows?
Yeah. So obviously now with Gravik being gone, Guy is frantically deactivating things, deactivating some things at some computers initially, and then of course the pods themselves, and we get to see the real Rhodey, and oh, I was so happy to see Ross.
Ross and Rhodey are alive. Now, can we talk about Rhodey and what he's wearing? Because he's wearing
that did not match. No.
No. He's wearing a hospital like get up, and when he literally tries to start standing up.
All right.
I think he got switched. It's in Civil War.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because he is literally wearing like the same, almost like it looks like the same like get up he was wearing in the hospital at Civil War when he after his accident.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I'm like, and because he also doesn't realize he can't walk, and even Ross is like, "How long have you been here?" And
Oh
even
yeah,
guy is like, "You've been here for a long time." Like
they did. Yeah, I figured there was. I thought that was
I'm
kind
like,
of odd.
"Oh my god, that means like the whole end, all the end game and all the motion like between Rhodey and that was all a scroll."
So wow, it was all
And in
just
the
an act.
Falcon and Winter Soldier in there too.
Whew. Wait a minute. Okay.
Yeah, way back. They're like, what? That far back? All
But the
right.
real question is if that was. I mean, I guess Feige would say it was planned that way all along.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like a stretch if that's the case. But wow.
Hey, that's what I'm thinking. But
Yeah.
I'm just going by what I mean, go back to the hospital scene, and then
Yeah.
go back to the scene when they let him out of the pod, and you tell me that what he's wearing doesn't look the same. Like
So yeah, it's it's a really interesting point too because so like nobody else noticed that Rhodey was just walking around fine. Like
that's what that's yeah. I didn't see him wearing his leg braces in Falcon and Winter Soldier either. Now that I think about it, did see him in Winter in like the movies, like uh, Avengers, both the Avengers movies.
wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy. So
yeah.
now that all is well, presumably,
That's he's still at the hospital. In by the way,
what's that? Oh, he makes he dresses him at the hospital. Okay, that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, because
Uh,
he's technically
Interesting
still in
place
the
to.
hospital.
Is this like the president's personal hospital or what is this?
I think they're still in London technically.
Oh.
He's has been, which you'd think they would like try to get the president home back to his state, like his country,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as possible instead of putting him. But maybe it was that critical.
I guess. Yeah. He goes on to address the nation, revealing that the Skrulls were behind the attack. Specifically, the attack. It's weird that he only mentions their, motorcade attack, and like I noticed that he doesn't say anything about the bombing and, uh, actually, where was that at now? Where does this show start off?
Russia,
What was it?
Russia,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Russia.
Yeah, didn't mention anything about that. Or the failed attempt with the the sub. But he's talks about that there's going to be this immediate emergency authorization he's giving for all off-world born species now to be enemy combatants. Which is like wow, it's kind of
This sets up this sets up Captain America.
yeah. Uh oh, that sets up Captain
Yeah,
America.
yeah, the new Captain America movie. This is what that guy is doing or saying is going to set up the Captain America New World. No, not New World Order. Uh, New World. Cap. What is it called?
Uh,
Captain
haven't heard too much about it, to be honest.
Brave New World. Captain America Brave New World.
Oh, isn't that like a Star Trek thing too? Or no, that's Strange New Worlds. um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and then he ends it with he knows who they are, or we know who you are, we know how to find you, and how to we're gonna kill every last one of you, which is like holy.
No, a president would never actually just go out and straight out say that. Like actual president.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
would be more like diplomacy. Like we're not gonna just all right, get your guns, boys. We'll go hunting.
yeah.
Like
Theoretically, no modern president would, right?
no.
Um,
But they're portraying this president as the worst. That's why because the the idea is when you get to Captain America, Harrison Ford's Thaddeus Ross is going to be the new president.
Oh man, really?
Yep.
It's gonna be an Air Force One situation again here.
Maybe. I mean, if he, I think he's gonna Hulk out Red, be the Red Hulk, because he
Oh
is
wow.
in the comics. So
Oh,
that'd be
crazy.
cool.
President Hulk. Uh,
Red Hulk.
how many? I was just wondering how many times Harrison Ford's played president because there's at least those two, but maybe more than that. Clear and Present Danger. One of those. I don't know.
I don't know.
I only
I
know
think
those
I
two
only
off
know
the top of
two.
my head, but well, we don't even know yet. I mean, we don't know for sure, right? Like, presumably, unless he's already on there as president. Wait, what's his last name? What's the general's
Ross.
last name again?
Ross.
It is Ross. Wait a minute. I thought it was Ross. So no
There's
relation
two
though.
Rosses in here. No, I don't think there's no any relation.
Okay. Um. Yeah. So then after that whole thing he said, let's see. So back at the Fury home, we see Fury enter and tells we're still saying Priscilla here, I guess. Tells Priscilla what she's he loves what she's done with the place. Oh, I didn't even get that at the time. Now I understand. It still looks like a mess, probably.
Yeah, it's pretty shot up at this point.
He also says he's sorry, and she asks why or for what, and he says for not being there, for being gone so much, and he knows. Let's see. She knows. That's right. She knows who he is when he's not there, but it's that when he's home. Basically, it's kind of like he's a different person, and she questions if he fell in love with her or the face that she puts on, and he says I love you, Priscilla, which I thought was interesting because again that is her human name. He also says he went there to ask for one last chance, and but then he also went on to say I'm leaving tonight right away. And then she says I guess this is goodbye. But on his way out, he does say, quote, if you can find a way to forgive me, you know where to find me. And then tosses the ring in the dish again on the way out.
Well, it's kind of the dish is kind of in pieces, but yeah, it's a dish. Sure.
Was it? So then back at back in Russia?
London.
It's still London? Okay.
I think it's London at this point.
So we see a vehicle approach Gaia, and initially I wasn't sure if this was like if she knew this was happening or not, but she goes in this alley, and then Sonia meets with her there, and at first she says Gaia says unless you have an army in the back there, yeah, you might want to back off essentially, and Sonya says, "Oh, I haven't come for a fight." And then she goes on to say that the Skrulls are going to need a new leader now, and she says, she can provide the resources, and that
they can use each other,
right, and in the process,
more like a partnership.
Yeah. In the process, they won't repeat the same mistakes that Talos and Fury did, which I thought was kind of like, you realize that's her dad, though, right? Like, you might not want to talk too much smack.
But I think she gets it. She understands. So
yeah,
I know how to.
And then the next line, yeah, and then the next line about leaving love and friendship out, I thought was pretty funny.
Yep. Sonya's no joke. Don't mess with her. She'll
cold cock you.
Yeah.
So then we see a road at night. We see a vehicle pull off and door open. and that would be Nick Fury, and he calls President Ritson there, and or was it the other way around? I don't remember who called who, but anyway, they're talking.
Fury called Ritson because
Hmm.
he wanted to talk about his speech.
Right, because and Ritson, the first thing he says is relieved that they made it out alive. Um, but uh, yeah, Fury didn't like his hateful ass speech or something along those lines is what he says.
Yeah, he says the hateful ass speech for a one-term. That's one-term president kind of stuff. Something
Right.
like that.
Um so then Sonya also goes on to take Gaia and I guess a couple agents uh to this I don't even know where area.
It's another scroll hideout. Those are all people in scroll pods.
In these,
So
yeah, these are more
so
horizontal, where the other ones were mostly vertical style
so
pods.
there's another operation already happening. Like there's another scroll faction that's taking
Yeah,
over people.
but Sonya knows about this one. Like, obviously, if she
I don't know how this one spawned. So they're I mean they left it open so they you got to imagine they're going to answer that somewhere. I just don't know where.
this one seemed a little less negatively focused, maybe.
Yeah,
This isn't
I,
maybe a terrorist organization at least, but
maybe.
there was like hundreds, if not thousands, it seemed like in that room.
Yeah. That room didn't end, so I couldn't see how far it went back.
Which I'm sorry to go here, but like eating and or using bathroom functions like
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, how long? If you've had roadie that long, how did you did you have a scroll that just had to like do potty duty
yeah,
for these guys
a
or what?
catheter is one thing, a like
I mean,
permanent
how did
bedpan is
you?
another.
I guess you can feed them. I mean,
Yeah.
through like IV stuff, but
The other part,
I don't know.
not so simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one I mean it's again it's the MCU, it's not real. So like I mean maybe
What?
the pod makes you put your body in suspense where you don't have to do anything. It just
Suspend your
kind of sits there.
disbelief. For the longest time on the Enterprise, there was no bathrooms, and now it's like now I think they definitely have had references to that at this point.
I know. I always wondering like how do they go to the bathroom in the Enterprise? There's no bathrooms. I always thought maybe they just use transporter technology. You're like kind of like just little microchip is in your body that says, "Oh, you're pooping
Well,
time. All right,
I've
let's
heard if
let's
it's
transport that out."
I don't know if it's like scientifically or what how they explain like supposedly all the replicators would have that would be how they get their materials for for the replicators.
Yeah,
Uh
because all turn back into atoms or like down to the molecular structure or whatever you call it. I don't know.
well, Star Wars wasn't much different because it was up until the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian, as far as I'm aware, is the first time you actually see a bathroom,
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's true.
and I mean there's references to I think Jar Jar steps in some something at one point, but
Of course,
other than that.
in current Mandalorian, pretty sure his little Nubian starfighter doesn't have a bathroom.
Yeah, good point. Um, so, yeah, I guess that's when we get there's a lot of like background. The conversation with the president and Fury is kind of going on while it's showing some of these other scenes, including his comment about the one term president stuff.
Well, you
Um,
also talk while he's talking. There's now people just running around killing what they who they think are scrolls.
yep.
Some they get right are scrolls. Some they don't, and they're actually killing human beings now.
Yeah. The first one we see is, of course, Shooter McGavin gets shot,
He gets gunned down.
or whatever his real name is. I guess he's a.
He really didn't have many lines. He was just kind of
No, not. Yeah, they could have utilized him a little more. But
maybe that's maybe it was a pay thing. If he had more lines, he wanted more money or something.
yeah, at his anchor job at the news station. Just a couple guys come in with automatic weapons and just
Just
take him
mow him
out.
down.
And then the anchor next to him is just like, obviously she's not a Skrull, so it wasn't. They knew she wasn't a Skrull, I guess, or wasn't
But
known to
then
be
they also
one.
got it wrong when one guy shot uh the England's prime minister.
Oof, is that what that was?
And
Oof.
yeah, and she was dead. She definitely dead. And she wasn't a scroll. She was just the same person. That lady, poor poor lady.
Yeah. And as Fury mentions to the president, this is he calls it a hit squad that he inspired. Um, and yeah, like you
I got
said,
vigilantes.
innocent humans, yeah, now getting killed, and when they're not, when these vigilantes aren't killing innocent humans, they're getting killed themselves. Um, so yeah, this is setting up a lot for the MCU here, but
This is all Captain America right here.
right. And then Ridson knows like the old Fury would have known that there's only one way that this ends. Um,
I was like, oh, maybe I don't know about that.
uh, and also that if you really care about the Skrulls, to get them off his planet.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, you're the president of the United States. It's not your planet.
And I like Dermot Mulrooney. I wanted to I wanted to like
He's
this character.
he's a very mean guy, mean
Yeah.
president.
Yep. So then, after that conversation, I see Fury heading for that classic ship beam. Um,
Beam
and
of light.
before he gets beamed up, well, I guess not beamed up. They make it seem like
It's like a skyway kind of thing, like or no, an elevator to
so.
space.
Does it work that way? Because we don't. Obviously, that's not how we ultimately see it happen in this episode. But does he get? Because like yeah, they made it seem like that's what it was going to be, but maybe that was
No idea.
just kind of a tease, kind of like hinting at how they have beams and how people get abducted and all that in other movies. But Fury gives when this vehicle approaches, he gives a little hold on a minute, hold it just a minute.
Hold the
Oh
phone.
yeah, he's got his earpiece in, but of course we see Priscilla exit the vehicle as expected. Um, though Fury looks genuinely surprised. And
As he should.
yeah, so she goes on to say it sounds like peace. And continues to say now I think she corrects Fury and says
Yeah,
Vara.
because Priscilla and she's like, no. Now that the scrolls are known, I want to be called by my birth name or something like that, right?
Yep, she wants to go by her birth name now. Yep, exactly. Fury goes on to say there's good news from Saber that the Kree are open to peace talks with the Skrulls.
And this sets up the Marvels.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Vara is decides to say, I guess an old joke. If this is an old Skrull joke or a Kree joke or what, but what says what do Skrulls call good luck? Bad luck. And then
Uh,
Fury says, "Stop it! It's a good thing." So Fury also says he needs Vara's help with this peace summit, um, and that they work better together, or at least he does. Um, she says she'll help him get started, but then she's got to get back to because now
work on Earth.
her work is there on Earth, and now it's never been more important. Although
Her work
that's
is,
scary
to be
as
honest.
hell, knowing that if anybody knows you're a Skrull, yeah, like, that could be. But I guess yeah, it's just like a lot of things. It's like a lot of comic things. This is kind of going back to very much so with in the case of the X-Men, like a civil rights kind of
Yep.
parallel, right?
Yep. Yep. We're gonna have. You're gonna start getting chaotic with people because they're gonna be, oh my god, there's scrolls or aliens, there's superhumans and mutants now. Ah.
Right. So that's when she reveals her scroll form. Um, and she says she just wanted to tell him that she loves her, or that she loves him, and as and then he says, as she is, uh,
In her scroll looking form.
or I'm sorry, as she is. She says as she is, and he says as as she is. And then they have a big old smooch moment,
Oh yeah.
and passionately on the lips, and then on the forehead, and then they just straight up get down. No.
Get down, yeah.
No, but they I did notice that she's wearing her wedding ring in that scene. I don't know if she brought Fury's ring or not along with her, but
Mm.
she happens to be. And then they both hand in hand walk to the ship, and
You want to know a fun fact about those two? It's interesting.
yeah.
She played his mother in Glass.
No way. Really?
Yeah, yeah. And they're
Wow.
like, Fury's making it. Oh, you're making out with your mom now.
Wow. Oh, that makes me wonder if he requested her for this show or something. Like that would be fun. Let's see. So let's see. What comment do we have here from Herschel? If they had Data sleeping and dreaming in that one episode, I can buy the personal whole transports. Yeah. Whole nother, probably maybe never gonna get that one on Disney Plus though. Star Trek probably. Well, you never know with Disney now. But all right, I suppose I gotta make a decision now.
Mhm.
Oof. I'm gonna say 4-3 for this one.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, mine's gonna be lower. I'm gonna go 3-8.
Oof. Wow, that's
I
probably the biggest difference we've had.
yeah, I mean it was good. There was a lot of jumping around for me,
There was a lot of jumping
and
around.
I don't know. I was hoping it would go a little bit better than it did. It just I mean the fighting was cool, but I don't know. It just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel satisfying for an ending.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I will say that I thought that Gravik died a little quick. I mean, pretty darn quick. Although, I think this is kind of the problem with the show. You like set it up this long, and then you just expect, like you wait for the big finale at the end. So it's kind of like, whereas with the movie, I mean, you only have 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours, but and you got way more time overall with a show like this. But at the same time, in a movie, I feel like you can draw out that ending longer. And with a show, you only got 45 minutes or whatever. So,
Yeah, it's interesting though, like 'cause the first few episodes were like a little bit longer, and then the last few episodes got shorter. It's like why don't you start short and end long, kind of thing.
yeah, I wondered
I don't
the
know.
same thing, kind of. Um, could be a budgeting thing with those fight scenes, too. Well, especially that fight scene.
Well,
Like,
yeah, that one. That's like that was a lot of CG in there. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is where a lot of the money went.
for
Like,
sure. Yeah. Because you can do, exactly. You got a lot of setup to do, too. I get it. But that's probably the biggest reason. So it looks like we got about 4.11 ish for an overall. I screwed up last time, and I thought that was a median. I think we landed on mean. Is technically what how I'm determining these, but
yeah,
yeah, not bad. That's pretty good. Pretty good for out of 5. That's still yeah better than most Amazon products, right? Wait, who's mean? What? Oh, I'm mean. Ah ha ha ha. Thanks, Herschel. All right.
now now we're done with this series.
All right, done
It was
with
over.
Marvel. Back to Star Wars.
Oh,
Uh,
Ahsoka.
yeah, I'm super excited for that.
I am too. That will be August 23rd. Is the first two episodes are streaming.
I'll write both of them, and I might have to do the day before if I'm not packing for my trip. But we can talk more about it then.
Yeah, you got trips everywhere. Woo!
Yeah, unweighted mean is average. All right, cool, cool. Thanks, Herschel. All right. Thanks everyone for listening. If you want to reach us, you can do so at disnerdsplus@gmail.com, disnerdsplus.com for the website. We'll be back maybe Thursdays, maybe Wednesdays. Yeah, we'll probably most of the next episodes probably be Thursdays at around 8:30 Central over there at twitch.tv/shavemaddox, or I should say over here. You can find Mike at Cool as a Cucumber. You can find me at Shave Mad Ox. And until next time, take care.
Bye.
All right. And we're
Finish.
clear.
Yeah.
Woot. Thanks for
And
joining,
now
Herschel. I'm glad we got
Friday.
an audience member.
Yeah, thank you.
Been pretty dry lately. But yeah.
Pretty dry. Yeah, this eh, could have been a better one, but I think it's because of all the rushing they've been doing with all these shows.
Oh, and you don't mean the little Russians.
Not like
Rushing.
rushing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, at least this made the obviously the writer's strike cut before that, I should say. As
Yeah,
did Ahsoka.
we're gonna be
Oh, shut up, Herschel. Damn it.
there'll be like
What?
movies delayed now.
It's
But
like sometimes we were on the same wavelength. No, I mean, would this have been after COVID disruptions too?
yeah. Now I got this, but hey, they need to because they're getting screwed by the streaming companies. So I
Yeah.
more power to them.
I feel it's kind of weird. It's funny because like we were all excited about. I mean, I feel like we were excited initially about Bob Iger coming in, and now it's like now he's making kind of jerky comments.
Yeah, I didn't like that. He's like, we don't have money for them, but you're making how much a year? Do you
Yeah.
got you? I think you guys can manage to cut yourself like off from a few mil. That's
Right.
ridiculous. But The Rock did something cool. He donated a seven-figure amount of money to the actors like fundraiser so they can still like pay their everyday bills, which was
Nice.
like, oh, that is awesome. I guess it was like one of the biggest donations for that that association.
Nice.
Pretty neat.
Yeah. Like old Dwayne.
Are you?
Good guy.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna go and chill for a little bit and then go to bed. So
Sounds good. Thanks.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm bringing this up on air, but I was I had an idea for the next series we do to run it past you, but basically the thought of alternating every other for who writes out like the outline and talks about it or something.
Oh yeah, we can do that. I'm cool with that.
Sweet. All
So
right. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you for Ahsoka in, like a
On a month.
month. Yeah. All right,
Yep.
Les. Have a good night.
Adios.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Herschel. Oh, shoot. That's right. I gotta stay in here to get my mirror effect. Asking a C-level in a multinational company to take a pay cut. This isn't Nintendo. 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 Alright, I gotta do this whole thing again, right? Ready for this one? All ready for this? Here we go.